It was a really fun weekend at Baltimore Comic-Con, so stay tuned to find out what I picked up from that weekend. Hey YouTube, it's Mandak coming at you with another haul video here. So welcome into haul video 163. So ever so slowly inching towards that 200 haul video mark. But anyways, guys, thank you so much for tuning in here. So as I mentioned at the top of the video, this is going to be my Baltimore Comic-Con haul. I also have a bunch of Lego that I picked up. None of it I actually got at the con, just because I didn't really see any Lego at the con that I cared to purchase, mostly because all of it was overpriced. But yeah, I was able to find some good sets to go over of that. But yeah, really had a fun time at the con. I'll kind of explain a little bit more about the con in the comic book section here. But yeah, we'll go ahead and I guess get into that. We'll start with the comics and we'll go through my haul here. So stay tuned for that section. All right, guys. So again, thank you so much for tuning in to this haul video here. So yeah, I guess I'll start with what I've been reading this past month or so. And then I'll dive into kind of my Baltimore Comic-Con experience with my friends and then show my haul. So we'll do it in that kind of order. So as always, like I always do with these haul videos, I always like to start with what I've been reading. So, you know, since the last video, I have been reading quite a bunch of stuff, kind of been jumping around a lot. So the first thing I did end up reading after I did read Watchmen was Rorschach by Tom King. So yeah, I was kind of going into this very apprehensive, obviously just because I didn't really like Watchmen. Similarly, I did not like this at all either. It was very drawn out, definitely could have been 8 issues. I don't know why it was 12, and just really not a storyline that I really cared too much about. Like it had a political assassination like theme with it, which I thought was pretty cool. But again, like the whole story being so long just really took me out of it, and just so wordy, not a lot of action. Yeah, just really did not like it. So I'm probably gonna end up selling that, which isn't a big deal because I got it out of Ollie's earlier this year. So, you know, I'll just make a couple bucks back from it maybe. But, you know, like I said, don't think I'm ever gonna reread that anytime soon. Conversely, I also did read It's Lonely at the Center of the Earth by Zoe Thorogood, I think is her last name. So this is kind of like an autobiography of her life as a comic book artist and writer. It was a little weird. There's a couple weird parts in this story that I thought were kind of off kilter. I mean, the storytelling is definitely interesting. The art is definitely out there. But overall, I thought it was a really interesting little autobiography. This came courtesy of a recommendation from one of my friends, Ed. So shout out to Ed for recommending that to me. I thought that was a really good read and I really enjoyed reading that. Also, moving on here, I did read Christopher Cantwell's book titled Regarding the Matter of Oswald's Body. So this was a book I recently picked up maybe a couple months ago at this point, off of Book Outlet 1. So this I was intrigued. Obviously, Christopher Cantwell, coming over from I think the movie industry or television industry, one of those two. He wrote one of the more recent runs of Iron Man, which I have yet to finish and read. But I've heard a lot of good things about his work at Marvel, and obviously I wanted to dive into this because you know, his name intrigued me on this book. And also, you know, I don't want to say I'm interested in it, but like I'm always intrigued by storylines that regard the death of John F. Kennedy. So that's really what this book is about. It's kind of about like this whole CIA plot to cover up the murder of JFK and basically using Oswald as like a fall guy. It's a very interesting story, and I thought it was very well executed, so definitely enjoyed that one for sure. I'm trying to remember. Yeah, I did. That one did go back on the shelf, so that means I will definitely keep that probably for some other time. It was a really good read, so I really enjoyed it. The next book I read here was Four Kids Walk Into a Bank. So it's pretty much what the story says. It's about these four kids who walk into a bank and try to pull off a heist. And one of the characters, his or her father, was like a former like thief or whatever. So there's that dynamic with that. But they're basically trying to rob the bank before these other robbers rob it. So it's kind of like National Treasure vibes, like trying to steal the declaration so someone else doesn't steal it. But yeah, I really enjoyed that one too. The art was very nice. Kind of reminded me a little bit of David Aja, like from like the Hawkeye run, like very small panels, a lot of like very nice coloring, you know, similar to Chris, I think it's Matt Hollingsworth or something like that. That's the colorist from the Hawkeye run, but it resembled, this book resembled that a lot. So yeah, I really enjoyed that book. Again, all these are kind of like standalone graphic novels, so there's no like backstory you need with these books. So I really enjoyed that. And I actually gifted that to my friend for his birthday. So, you know, it was a book that I enjoyed. I don't think I'm going to reread it, but I definitely enjoyed it. So that's why I kind of just gave it to my friend and was like, here you go, enjoy and let me know what you think. So there's stuff like that. There's always some other ways to get rid of books sometimes too. So there's that. The next book I read, so continuing my readathon of Captain America, I did read the 4th Captain America omnibus, The Trial of Captain America. So this one is basically all centered around Bucky and the government eventually finding out that he was the Winter Soldier and that he's currently Captain America, and so he's being tried for his crimes, and there's all these other plots involved, and it's very interesting. You know, obviously we're getting towards the tail end of this run, so kind of not as good as the first part, but still really interesting and definitely still a page turner in my opinion. So really excited. I'm currently reading the last omnibus, which is the Return of the Winter Soldier. So that one I'm currently 4 issues into today. I started reading it today, so trying to get that done hopefully by the end of this week, if not early next week. So yeah, and then after that, like I said, my read-through of Captain America continues. I still have Remender, Spencer, and Ta-Nehisi Coates. So I have 3 more kind of main runs of Cap, and then a bunch of little like mini-series stuff and sprinkled in between I'm gonna read at some point. So I still have plenty of content to take me through the rest of this year probably. So yeah, it's crazy how long it's taken me to read this Captain America stuff, but I'm dedicated and I'm excited to see where it goes. So there's that one there. The next book I've read, so again, another readathon that I'm trying to start picking up here is my Daredevil readathon. So as I mentioned in the last haul, I did finish the, I don't know if I said I finished it, but I did finish the first Captain America, or the first Daredevil Epic Collection, Man Without Fear. Also gave that one to one of my friends because his birthday is coming up, and I'm like, I'm not gonna sell it to you. You know, here you go, you can have it for free. Enjoy. So I read and sold that one, and then not sold, gave away, I guess, gifted. But I did finish the It Comes with the Claws Epic Collection. So this is skipping past Miller and Born Again. So this is right after Born Again. So at this point, Anna Senti has kind of taken over the writing for this, for Daredevil. So really enjoyed that epic. Definitely a different vibe with Daredevil this time, right? Like we start the book with him being like a burger cook at a diner. And obviously, like all the events of Born Again, he's been stripped essentially of all of his like money, and you know, his lawyer's license is expired, and him and Foggy have kind of fell apart and gone separate ways. and really the only person in his life still is Karen and these little like children. I can't remember what their names are, but all these like children kind of help him with like these like street crime type of things that are going on. Matt starts his own practice, you know, fighting law like without using his license, like help basically arming like people with knowledge to go back and like fight their own like legal cases. So I think that's a really cool like angle to take. It kind of reminds me a lot of like what like would come later on in some of the Daredevil runs. So yeah, really enjoying that so far. And like I said, I'm on the second epic of her stuff right now, which is A Touch of Typhoid. So that's the epic collection I'm reading right now, which has some great John Romita Jr. art. So I'm really excited to read that, and hopefully we'll see how that goes. So yeah, really pumped to continue my readathon of Daredevil. And like I said, I definitely anticipate being done with Daredevil by the end of this year, if not early next year. So not a lot to read from that angle there. And the last little chunk of books I've been reading here is Sin City. So kind of sticking with Daredevil for a second, obviously, you know, Frank Miller being one of the most acclaimed runs on Daredevil. I decided to go back and read his, not go back, but I decided to go and read his Sin City stuff. So I read the first 3 volumes, The Hard Goodbye, A Dame to Kill For, and The Big Fat Kill. So really enjoying all 3. I really enjoyed all 3 of those. You know, they move really quickly. I think I read most of those. Like, if I didn't have so much other stuff going on right now, like, I definitely would have been able to finish each of those probably in a day. So yeah, I'm slowly making my way through them. I still have like, I think 4 more volumes left to read. Currently working on the 4th one here, which is that Yellow Bastard or something, Big Yellow Bastard. I can't remember what it's called. It has the word yellow in it and bastard, so there's that. But yeah, so that's kind of what I'm reading through there right now. So should hopefully finish Sin City 2, and then, you know, like I said, just rotating some of my read-throughs. But yeah, that's everything I've read. So yeah, I definitely will talk now about my Baltimore Comic-Con trip. So this past weekend I went down to Baltimore with my friends. I took off Friday because we actually drove over to one of my friend's house, and then we drove as a group down to an Airbnb that we rented out down in Baltimore on Friday night, which was really fun. We got there, and then we actually bought tickets to go see the Baltimore Orioles game. I'm not an Orioles fan, I'm a Phillies fan, so it was just fun to go to another ballpark. Which, you know, side note, that ballpark is beautiful. Camden Yards is such a great ballpark not to play in. I'm not playing baseball anytime soon. To be in. I thought it was a really fun park, and I definitely would go back again if there's an opportunity to do so. But it was really fun. We all kind of just hung out. We watched the game, stayed the whole game. They had fireworks after the show, which we didn't plan on, but that was really cool. So we stayed for that. I think I'll show some pictures too of all this stuff as we go through this section here, because I took a bunch of pictures of the weekend just to kind of keep for memory's sake, I guess. But yeah, it was fun. We came back to the room, played some video games, kind of crashed, and then Saturday morning we woke up, went to Starbucks, got some breakfast, got some coffee, and moseyed our way over to the con. And we pretty much stayed there the whole con. We stopped for lunch at Jimmy John's, got a sandwich, and then, yeah, just shopped around for the whole con. You know, took a couple of breaks to rest our legs and our backs. But it was really fun. You know, just shopping around for comics with my friends. It was just a really fun time. Like, there was a lot of times where all of us were together shopping, and then we kind of went our separate ways, but then eventually found our way back to each other throughout the day. So I really like that. You know, there's some times where I kind of like to go do my own thing and shop around versus like being around everybody else. So I thought it was a good mix of like those different types of things. I did also get to meet Sean Chen, who is one of my favorite artists when it comes to Iron Man. You know, not the best interaction with him, honestly. Like, he seemed very like nonchalant about everything that I was talking about with Iron Man, which I know it was probably like, it was 20 plus years ago, so I kind of gave it for what it was worth, but it was still fun to get a signature from him. You know, I have a book here that I'll show that I got him to sign, but yeah, otherwise though, you know, it was really fun. After the con, we went to dinner somewhere. I got some nice seafood, and then my friends all pitched in and got me a really nice gift here that I'll show here, kind of to start off this haul, because I think that would be a really nice way to kick this haul off. But yeah, it was such a fun day. After the con on Sunday, we kind of got up, had like a breakfast brunch / lunch type of thing, and then my two friends and I, we drove back home, and we stopped at Second and Charles in Harrisburg just to see if they had anything, and sure enough, I ended up finding more things there to buy too, so I'll show those as well. But yeah, that was my Baltimore Comic-Con experience. Like I said, a lot of fun, and like I said, I'll show a lot of pictures throughout this segment here, so you can see kind of what we did and how much fun we had. So there's that. But anyways, I'll go ahead and get this haul kicked off with with the thing that my friends all pitched in for me for. So as I mentioned on this channel, probably maybe a couple times in the past, Monica and I are getting married here soon, and my friends, you know, kind of treated this weekend as kind of like a little bit of like a bachelor party, even though I didn't engage in anything like that. We just went to a baseball game and shopped for comics. But they all pitched in and got me a really nice gift, and it's funny because I was talking with them on Discord a couple weeks before the con about like these comics and things, and I guess that was a way for them to kind of get this for me and see if I had it. And this book is CGC graded, so it's a slab book, and that book is Tales of Suspense 58. So this is amazing. When I saw this, I was so excited to have this. So this issue has a lot of significance. This was the first issue where Captain America and Iron Man shared the Tales of Suspense book for the first time. So from 39 through 57, it was Iron Man and then I think some other anthology story as a backup. So there was two like half-length stories in this book. But this book will mark the first appearance of Captain America in the Tales of Suspense story or book. And this book obviously starts with Captain America and Iron Man fighting each other. So this, I remember reading this in the Cap Epic collection and just loving this art. You know, the art in here is Don Heck, Dick Ayers, and George Tuska. So just some really great Silver Age artists from the time. And I do remember like when Civil War, the movie was coming out, this like art was used a lot in reference to that film. And I know there's a lot of homage covers paid to this. But just an amazing gift from them. I'm really appreciative of this. It's a 5.5 grade, so, you know, a pretty decent grade, honestly, for how old this book is. And I'm really excited to have this in my collection, and I just need to find a way to display this that will do this justice. But really, really excited. I could not thank them enough for this. This is such a thoughtful gift and just a really, really nice piece to my collection here. So, again, thank you to everyone who contributed to this. Which would be Vince, Ginger Dan, Nelson, Nick, Mike, Ed, and if there's anyone else I'm missing, I'm sorry if I left you out there, but yeah, really, really excited to have this. So thank you again to everyone who contributed to that. All right. I didn't plan this, but I actually did end up getting another slab at the con with my friend. So I walked over with him to go, because he was going to buy a book. And I eventually got talked into buying my own book. So that book is Uncanny X-Men 143. So I actually already, and I'm sorry about the glare, it's the slab, there's nothing I can do about that. So I actually own this book already. I bought this a while ago at the time, but this is a really neat issue. There's nothing really crazy exclusive about this, but this is this is a solo story with Kitty Pryde. all the X-Men go out for some reason, I think, and Kitty is in the mansion by herself, and she's fighting off an alien that the X-Men brought home off of the X-Jet from a previous mission. So you can see that on the front here, and it's a Christmas issue, so it kind of has some exclusivity there to that. But yeah, really wanted to buy this. I thought this was a really nice pickup. I got this for like 30 bucks, which is not really a bad price for a slab book. And who knows, maybe this will go up in price a little bit when Kitty Pryde officially comes into the MCU. So you can see here the back, which I also like these slabs too, because you can, even on this one, you can see the back of kind of what the ad was at the time. So it just kind of shows you how far the ads have changed from year to year. This issue is from 1981, so there's that. So really hyped to get that. These are my first 2 CGC slab books, so really nice to have some of those, and hopefully I don't get into the business of buying too many of those, because those can be very expensive. So there's that. But yeah, those are my slab books. So we'll go ahead and get into some singles here. So first one here, as I mentioned, I did get this book signed by Sean Chen, and that is Iron Man #1 from the 3rd volume of Iron Man, so the one that came out in 1998. So I did have him sign, and he signed the little laser bolt there, so that's really cool. So really excited to get this signed, and really happy to have this in the collection. I would have had him sign more books, but each signature was $10, and it was kind of getting towards the end of the day, and I didn't really have a lot of funds left, so I was kind of just trying to, conserve my money. But it was still really cool to get that signed, so that was really awesome. The next book I got here was a set of 3 issues, and that is the Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom 3-issue series here. This was written by David Michelinie. Yeah, this is really cool. I think it was last year I bought the 3-issue Raiders of the Lost Ark series, which I just bought because, I found it at a shop for like 20 bucks. And, aside from reading it illegally online, this is really the only way I could read this stuff, because it's not published in any collection, and it's also not on Marvel Unlimited. So I'm really limited, pun intended, I guess, there, on what I can actually read this from. So I bought these, and hopefully someday I can sit down and actually read the whole trilogy of these books. I need to find the Last Crusade set, so maybe I'll get lucky at a con one day and find them. So fingers crossed there. But yeah, really excited to get that. This is also one of the issues on the back here. The only issue that I can't see is the second one, so there's that. All right, next issue here I got is actually one that I used to prank all my friends. So you might be seeing this and crapping yourself. You're like, oh my god, Dan, you found Iron Man #1. This is actually just a facsimile edition. So Marvel, for the last, I don't know how many years, has been putting out these facsimile editions, which are essentially reprinted issues of these like classic stories with the ads, the original ads for at the time, put in here. So that's kind of why I bought this. Also, this is the only way I'm probably going to have a single issue of Iron Man #1, unless I want to pay like hundreds and hundreds of dollars for it. So yeah, just a really iconic cover here. I think this is Gene Colan. And just, I love this. This is one of my wallpapers for my phone. I have a giant canvas of this in my room. Yeah, just a really great cover otherwise, but really cool to get that for a decent price there. Next here, I picked up about, I think, 6 issues of Iron Man that I didn't have in my collection. I really hope I don't have in my collection, because I've been slowly finding like duplicate issues of stuff that I've been purchasing, which is kind of annoying, because I honestly do a really good job, I think, at least I thought I did, of keeping track of all the issues I buy for Iron Man, which I'm very close to having the whole first volume of Iron Man. I think I'm only like 40 issues away at this point. But yeah, purchased some ones I didn't have on my spreadsheet here. So starting here with Iron Man 16. This has a pretty nice cover here with Iron Man and the unicorn. So really nice to see that there. Next one here, Another great cover from Iron Man 25. This one has Namor on the front. And I know a lot of, like, it's really funny, like, there's a lot of, like, art from these covers that I know, I see, like, Google Images pulls out to use as, like, an image of just the character. And I know this one is one of those that kind of shows up a lot. So really iconic cover there with Namor. Next one here is Iron Man 31. So Iron Man's going up against the Smashers. It's been 8 years since I've read these books, so I can't remember what exactly happened here in the story, but really cool to get that one there for a decent price. A lot of these, like, I got them for cheaper than what they say on here, so, you know, you might see 15 bucks and be like, well, that's kind of expensive, but I did get some of these for a pretty good deal. I think all these were cheaper than what the actual price of them on here were going for. Next one here I bought was Iron Man 44, and this one features the Night Phantom. So yeah, don't really remember much about this one here. This is a very forgettable era of Iron Man. But again, really great cover there, and a really unique color on the top there, kind of using that dark red maroon color there. All right, next one here. Iron Man 49, really great cover here with the super, I don't know if this is the super adaptoid or just the adaptoid, but really fun cover there, and really cool to pick that one up. Let's see here, and then the last one here, this one I actually almost bought twice. So I bought this originally at the beginning of the con, and then we went to the car to drop off our stuff we bought from the morning. And then I went back and I forgot to take a picture or like write down the issue numbers of which ones I got in the morning. And so I looked at this later on in the day and I was going to pick it up and I'm like, oh wait, I already bought that. So I put it back in the bin. But yeah, really kept this one here. Yeah, this one's a really nice cover. Just kind of him coming out of the paper there, and you see the back with the comics. So I think this is a really unique cover, and I can't believe I don't remember seeing that before. So there's that one too. So really hyped to get all of those for a decent price there. Moving into some trades, hardcovers, paperbacks, other collections. I got talked into buying this book, From Hell here by Alan Moore and Eddie Campbell. So you can see this is a very thick boy. This is a graphic novel about Jack the Ripper. So the retailer really sold me on this, and this was only going for 15 bucks, so I decided to pick this up. I thought that was a pretty good deal. You can see here some of the interior arts. You know, it's black and white, but definitely think this will be a fun read here. So Jack the Ripper, for anyone who's not familiar, he was a notorious mass murderer, I believe, back in, I don't know what time, back in, I guess, the beginning of the 20th century. So the 1900s, I guess. So there's that. But yeah, really good to get that for a nice price. Kind of something I stretched or reached for. I wasn't really looking for that, but I thought it was a nice pickup. So we'll give that a read at some point. Next book I picked up here was another graphic novel by Brian Michael Bendis, and that is Fire. So very thin trade. Don't really know much about what this is about, but you can see here also black and white. So that, a lot of these graphic novels are like that. The interesting thing with this book though is that from, like, I'm holding it like this, right, and the spine is actually flipped the other way. So if I want to display it with the spine facing up like this, right, with the name facing down, the book has to be upside down, which I think is a little weird. But regardless, it's nice to have some of these. So I have a lot of like original like graphic novels here from Brian Michael Bendis now. I have Jinx. I have I forget what other ones. There's another one that Goldfish, I think, was the name of the other one. So yeah, just picking up some Brian Michael Bendis stuff because I like him as a creator, and we'll see what these are all about. And I've heard his crime noir, like, graphic novel stuff is pretty good, so I'm excited to read that and see what it's all about. Okay. Next couple books I got here as I pull out some of my receipts and things. I I got the last 2 volumes of the Green Arrow, like, Rebirth era stuff. So by this point, we've actually transitioned out of, like, the Rebirth trade look here, but these are basically the last 2 issues of that full run there. Or, I'm sorry, last 2 collections of that run. So, yeah, this is really good. It's weird because Volume 7 is technically issues 43 through 47, and then annual number 2. And then the 8th volume, the last one, collects issues 39 through 42, and then 48 through 50. So I guess there was some kind of storyline that kind of interrupted that run, and that's why they're spread out into 2 volumes here. But yeah, this is really like one of the last pieces of Green Arrow that I was looking to get with my collection here. Obviously I have Grell's run, I have you know, I have this Rebirth run, and I don't know where my Green Arrow stuff is. I think it's down here. Yeah, my Kevin Smith stuff. So, like, you know, that's really all I care to read probably with Green Arrow. So we'll see kind of how this goes, but you can see here that. So eventually I will get to a Green Arrow readathon, and it should be a pretty quick one, I hope. So we'll see how that goes. Next one I got, collection I got here. I actually got this for free, so that was really cool. And that is Redneck Volume 5. So a couple months ago at this point, I think I bought the first 4 volumes of Redneck by Donny Cates and went ahead and picked this one up. So this is like vampires and stuff going on in the South and some interesting stuff, I think, with that. So really great art going on here, and I'm a really big fan of Donny Cates, so I'm really excited to read this. This is still ongoing, I believe, so I don't think this is the last collection we're going to get from this, but nonetheless, really excited to pick this up for a decent price, which would be nothing. So that's the most decent price you could possibly have. So yeah, there's that. Next book I got here was an omnibus that I definitely didn't expect to pick up, but it was half off, and, you know, obviously I'm a big sucker for X-Men stuff and really want to have a nice X-Men shelf to look at. So went ahead and bought that, and that is the X-Men The Hidden Years omnibus here. So this is very skinny. This is John Byrne, Tom Palmer. This kind of fills in the gap between the Silver Age stuff and then the beginning of Claremont's run. So kind of just explaining what these original X-Men were doing between those 2 eras. So it definitely has me intrigued from that standpoint. I've heard that this run is not the best, but nonetheless, I think it's a nice gap of material that I'm gonna find some enjoyment in. So we'll see how that goes. So there's that. I'll put that down here. And lastly here, another book I got for free because I bought this omnibus and this together, and they only charged me $50 for everything, so that was really nice of them. And that is this like hardcover graphic novel thing called Void. And I was more intrigued by this because of Sean Phillips. Obviously, Sean Phillips being the artist for all of the Ed Brubaker graphic novel stuff, you know, Criminal, Killer Be Killed, Fatale. So I'm gonna try to show a panel or a page that isn't full of nudity. But yeah, this is a nice little novel that I'll probably read and end up selling, but I love his art, and I'm just really excited to read this and see what this is about. And it looks like it's about some type of space thing, like kind of like Aliens vibe. It's a prison ship, so we'll see what this is all about. But yeah, this is just some random book that I found with Sean Phillips on it, and wanted to give that a read. So I'm sure that will take me probably less than a day to read. So there's that. But yeah, that was my comics. I'll show 2 more things I got at the con and at Second and Charles. So they're comic book related, obviously. And that first one here is a Star-Lord Marvel Legends figure. So I really like this one. I saw it at a couple places, and I ended up picking it up here for 20 bucks, which I think is a pretty good deal. And this one's really nice because it actually has the original design from the original like graphic novel with Star-Lord, which I don't think I have anymore. I think I actually sold that back. But nonetheless, really cool. Has his element gun and his sword, and just a really iconic design. And I know exactly where I'm going to put this on my shelf. So that's really cool to have that as well. So really nice pickup there. Always like to get at least one figure when I go on these cons because they're nice to have too. This last one here I found at Second & Charles for a decent price, and that is the Todd McFarlane, or McFarlane Toys Iron Man. And yeah, this statue is awesome. It's supposed to recreate this, one of the last scenes from this issue. And you can see here, it kind of has a stand with a background on it. Fun fact, I remember when this first was announced, I really wanted to get it, and then couldn't find it anywhere. And then I actually found it at a Books A Million when I was traveling for work. But obviously, as you can see with this box size, it's pretty big. So I couldn't obviously bring this back with me on my plane ride because I didn't have space, which kind of annoyed me because I had it in my hands. I couldn't buy it because I didn't have space. But yeah, really excited to get this at Second & Charles. I had a bunch of store credits, so I didn't have to pay anything for this. But yeah, this is really cool. I'm really excited to open this up and actually display it with my Iron Man stuff here. But yeah, that statue, really nice to have that. And that was pretty much my comic haul. So 35 minutes later, that's where we're at. And yeah, that's all I got for that. So let's go ahead and get into the Lego section here for this haul. All right, guys, thank you so much for tuning into the Lego section here. So a couple of things I picked up here, nothing too crazy. Well, I guess some stuff crazy, but just hold your horses here. I'll go into it. So picked up a couple of poly bags here. Just found them on Target.com and wanted to grab some. I just bought one of each because I'm just gonna buy these to keep sealed. I don't plan on opening these. The first one here is an Animal Crossing one. This has Maple's Pumpkin Garden, so I thought that was pretty appropriate for this time of year, right, with it being fall and all. But yeah, this one's really nice because it does come with that minifigure, so really cool to get that in a nice poly bag there. Next one I picked up here was a Despicable Me 4 set, which has the Minions jet board. So again, some nice printed parts. I know this Minion's kind of like brick built for the most part. But again, a really nice build and a nice little figure there. So, you know, wish Star Wars poly bags were like this because these are all really nice. All right, next one here we got is the Baby Gorilla Encounter. So, yet again, another nice minifigure there with like the little bottle and the walkie, and then we get that nice Baby Gorilla figure, which I think will be pretty hard to find in a lot of these sets here. But yeah, really fun to get that for a nice decent price. And like I said, I don't plan on buying more of these. I think I'm just gonna buy those 3 and put them in my sealed polybag collection, which is ever growing. So there's that. All right, next up here, I picked up a set that went on sale for I think 20% off. I do plan to get the set that goes with this too, but that is the buildable Green Goblin construction figure. So I know a lot of people don't like this figure just because of the build and the face. I think it's pretty dope. I don't know what people are talking about. I think the glider is definitely a decent size, which I think looks really good. Like, you know, I got this for like $28. And this is a lot more, like, there's a lot more to this than, like, some of the other buildable characters we've gotten for that same price. So, gotta give Lego credit to that extent, and I'm really excited to have this. I might try to build, like, a small stand for him, just so he can, like, be up on the glider. So I think that will look really cool. But otherwise, I think I might try to build this sometime soon. So really cool to get that. The next set I got here, just got this today. It actually got delivered today. And that is the Lego Star Wars Advent Calendar for 2024. So a lot of great figures here. We got Luke, Leia, Ahsoka, a 501st Trooper, and I think we also get like some type of red Imperial Trooper, maybe a Praetorian Guard. I think that's what it is, from one of the newer Mandalorian sets. So that's really cool. That's a nice inclusion there. But yeah, this is really nice. You know, it's funny, when I first started getting back into Lego, I bought like 3 or 4 advent calendars every year. And nowadays, like, I just stick to the Star Wars and Marvel. I always get tempted to get the Harry Potter ones every year, but I don't know, for some reason, the ones that have come out recently have just not appealed to me, so I just haven't picked them up. But yeah, this is really nice though, like, really nice deal. It's crazy that these are going for $44 because I got this for like $35. At the time of this recording, Target's actually having a 20% off sale on select Lego sets, and this one was one of them, so that's why I added it to my cart. But yeah, we'll give this a build here starting December 1st, and we'll go from there. All right, next set I got here. I'm kind of debating if I want to keep this sealed or open it, because there's 2 of the 3 sets in here are sets I haven't built, but I do have like versions of these sets that I just don't see a need to build another one of them. And that is this Lego Batman 3-in-1 set. So first off, this is an insane price savings compared to what you would spend for all 3 of these sets combined at MSRP. And I think at the time of this recording, it's unfortunately sold out on Walmart.com. I heard about it on Facebook, and so I went and bought one just to keep as an investment piece. But like, total price MSRP for all 3 of these sets, I think, is close to like 90 bucks, and Walmart was selling this for 50. So if you can get your hands on it for that price, I would say it's definitely a good deal. But like I said, like, I'm definitely not going to open this anytime soon, or ever probably, because I have versions of the Batwing and the Batmobile, and I obviously have built and have a bunch of these poly bags for Batman sealed. So this will more so be an investment piece that I'll keep and maybe resell one day for a couple $100 maybe. You know, that's kind of my plan there with that. So I just don't really have a lot of, like, it's not like I'm like clamoring to open those sets and display them, right? Like, it's not really like, I have Batmobiles, I have Batman sets. It's not like I'm like, oh my god, I need another Batmobile in my collection. The only one I have on display here actually is the 1960s Batmobile set that came out like a couple years ago. And before people ask, I don't plan on getting the UCS one unless it goes on like some crazy sale where it's like $100 or something. Yeah, I just don't plan on buying that. So there's that. All right. And then the last set that I picked up here, again, just came today. And so this set originally retailed, I think, for $200, and then Lego and Target and all these other places marked it down to $160, and then it got 20% off of that. So all said and done, it was close to like almost 50% off, like, in terms of the price. So I pulled the trigger on it. I showed it to my fiance today, and she thought it was kind of frightening with the face, and I guess you guys can maybe guess what that set is. And that is the buildable Chewbacca set. So a couple reasons why I bought this. Obviously the price, but second, I do plan to have a display with this set and the C-3PO and the new R2-D2 set that came out. Just because that R2-D2 is in scale with C-3PO. So with that, I'm probably going to sell my other R2-D2 that I built and just see if I can make some money off of that. I only paid $100 for that set, so maybe I'll get my money back on it. But yeah, I wanted to get this set though because I do want to eventually have a display somewhere when I can find more space to actually display like Chewbacca, C-3PO, R2-D2, like Yoda, Grogu, like all of my buildable figures. I kind of want to display them all on like one shelf. So that's the plan, and obviously having Chewbacca is a really cool build, and yeah, his face is a little frightening there. You can see here the back. So but otherwise, I really do like the fact that they're doing more of these buildable characters. You know, the C-3PO one that came out just a couple months ago looks really dope, and I'm really excited to hopefully get my hands on that at some point. But yeah, I mean, Lego just keeps making so many nice sets, and I just don't know where to put them. You know, I think I might need to start swapping some stuff out here and putting things in other places to kind of accommodate for that. But yeah, that is my Lego haul. So let's go ahead and get into the closeout of this video. All right, guys. So again, thank you so much for watching this haul. I hope you enjoyed it. So like I said, not a lot from the con, just really more so enjoyed spending time with my friends and shopping and talking about comics and just life in general. And, you know, it was a really fun weekend. You know, both Monica and I got to go out and, like, you know, spend time with our friends and just get away for a weekend and just enjoy being around our friends. So that was really fun. But yeah, I'm gonna go put all this shit away, and I'll see you guys on the next haul. So, peace.